Arkansas Board of Directors to order. At this time, we'll have a roll call.
Director Brewer,
Here.
Director Hart,
Here.
Assistant Mayor Roberts,
Here.
Director Harris,
Here.
Director Hollabush,
Here.
Mayor Brown.
Here. At this time, we'll stand for our invocation, which will be given by Director Jeff Hart. Our Pledge of Allegiance tonight will be given by our City Clerk, Heather Sawyers.
Let's bow. Father, we come to you tonight humbly asking you to show us grace and mercy, but also to give us knowledge and wisdom as we make decisions for the city. Father, just continue to watch over all of our citizens, all of our staff, all of our police and public servants and our water utilities. We're so thankful and blessed to have the city that we have. And Father, everything that we do, we just want to glorify you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated. At this time, we'll move right on into our citizens' communication time. At this time, I have one card that's handed to me now. If you wish to address the board, if you'll fill out a citizen communication card, we would appreciate it. We'd have a written record of your attendance. At this time, I'd recognize Tony Nix. Yes, ma'am.
Nervous. I moved to the Arkansas side, raised in Hope, so back on the Arkansas side, lived in a rent house on 2324 Street and moved into a homeowner the south end of Laurel, 2300. In all those years, we have never had a ward representative that did anything for the area. Ulysses Brewer has been there, checked with people, and I just commend if more people were like him. He's just been an excellent, and I appreciate him. Right now I didn't know anything about Section 8, and I'm in a historical district. And this is not being cared for. It's not being inspected. And he's checking into this, for which I'm thankful. It's not the only time. He's been a superb member, and if we had more like that. I taught also, this is just a side note, I taught at the Juvenile Center for 14 years, and I can't believe it's closed, and I commend y'all for trying to keep it open. It's a sad thing, but Judge Hardin hired Mary Choate from the Texas side to be a consultant at that place, which had no bearing on that. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Is there anyone else that wishes to address the board? Anyone else? Any board member during citizens' communication time? If not, we'll move right on into our consent agenda. Tonight we have 4 items on our consent agenda. Item number 1 is approval of the minutes of the regular meeting, April the 3rd. Item number 2 is to adopt a resolution approving the reimbursement of $18,140.70 to the Texarkana Regional Airport for the American Rescue Act funds. Item number 3 is to adopt a resolution to accept a reimbursable, non-matching, certified local government grant to conduct a window restoration workshop. And item number 4 is to adopt a resolution authorizing the acting city manager to enter into a contract for the U of A Way sewer extension project. What would be the board's desire on the consent agenda?
Motion to adopt.
Second.
So I have a motion and a second to adopt the consent agenda. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Moving right into our regular agenda, item number 5 is to adopt a resolution to purchase 9 2023 Ford police vehicles from McClarty Ford. I don't see Chief Jordan here. If I'm sure the board members have had an opportunity to look at that. If you understand that, we had an approval to buy 4 and 5. They were never purchased from McClarty due to no inventory. And now they do have inventory. The price is about $14,000 difference, which will be allocated from the police turnback reserve fund. Any discussion?
No.
What would be the desire of the board to adopt?
Motion to adopt.
Second.
All right, first of all, we'll have to have the city attorney read the resolution.
Yeah, there you go.
Whereas pursuant to Resolutions 2021-56 and 2022-16, McLarty Ford submitted the low bids to purchase 9 Ford police vehicles, and the board approved their purchase. And whereas the 9 vehicles were never purchased due to lack of inventory, and whereas the 9 police vehicles are now in stock for the price of $354,012.21, and whereas $339,521.55 was previously budgeted, and the additional $14,490.66 will be allocated from the police turnback and reserve fund, and whereas the acting city manager and staff recommend approval, now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Directors of the City of Texarkana, Arkansas, that the acting city manager is authorized to execute a contract and take such action as is reasonably necessary to acquire the vehicles described above, and upon the terms so indicated, pass and approve the 17th day of April 2023.
So he's read the resolution. Again, I ask for a motion,
Motion to adopt.
a second.
Second.
So a motion and a second to adopt. Is there any other discussion? Could you call the roll?
Brewer,
Yes.
Hart,
Yes.
Roberts,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Hollabush,
Yes.
Brown.
Yes, and the resolution passes. Item number 6 is to adopt a resolution approving the salary of the acting city manager effective from the date of the appointment. We appointed Ms. Tyronda Henderson as acting city manager. This is to shore up the resolution for her compensation. Is there any discussion?
Money well spent.
Any other discussion? If not, I'd have the city attorney read the resolution.
Whereas Tyrone Henderson was appointed acting city manager on April 3rd, 2023, and will hold that position until a full-time city manager can be appointed. And whereas the Board of Directors and Ms. Henderson have reached an agreement whereby Ms. Henderson will serve as acting city manager on a month-to-month basis at $66.32 per hour, or $137,945.60 annually, prorated on a monthly basis and for any partial month, and paid by the city in biweekly installments. And whereas Ms. Henderson will return to her previous position and salary once a full-time city manager is appointed. And whereas Ms. Henderson commenced work immediately after being appointed on April 3rd, 2023, and as a result, compensation back to that date shall be paid by the city. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Directors of the City of Texarkana, Arkansas, that the acting city manager, Tyrone Henderson, shall be paid upon the terms and conditions stated herein. Pass and approve this 17th day of April, 2023.
The city attorney's read the resolution. What would be the desire of the board?
Motion to adopt.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second to adopt. Any other discussion? Could you call the roll?
Brewer,
Yes.
Hart,
Yes.
Roberts,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Hollabush,
Yes.
Brown.
Yes. The resolution passes. Moving right along to item number 7, to adopt a resolution to approve a contribution of $200,000 to the city of Texarkana, Texas for the purchase of Union Station as part of the Texarkana Union Station redevelopment project. Ms. Henderson, Vasile, how are you?
I got Bashir with me. He'll be able to answer any questions that I want since he's kind of heading up this project. On March 3rd, 2023, the cities of Texarkana, Arkansas and Texarkana, Texas, along with Amtrak, signed a letter of intent as a good faith agreement regarding the Texarkana Union Station redevelopment project. The letter of intent also expresses the intention of Amtrak's future plans for the current operations and the potential to access funds they have available to do improvements to Union Station. This site has been around since the founding of both cities, and they realize that its restoration is vital to successful downtown revitalization. With potential funds from the CRISI grant program for building acquisition and preliminary engineering, and other potential funds from tax credits and Amtrak's improvement funds, the city will move the renovation project forward. Are there any questions? And I think Vashil has a presentation as well.
I have two questions.
Yes, sir.
in short, how long has the Union Station been vacant, and what are the future plans for the use of that Union Station in short version?
Sorry. Thanks for having me, directors and mayor. I am not quite sure how long it's been vacant, but it's been quite some time. I know the last time there was an event in there, it was about 12 years ago. I think Leslie Ledwell had her engagement, her wedding reception in that building, and that was about 12 years ago. As for future plans, I have some rendering here that I'd like to show in this presentation of potential, some stuff that can be done to Union Station that would be beneficial for both cities.
Thank you.
Before you do that, I have a couple of concerns. One, I've talked to the city manager about these. You know, first of all, this is a really good project that certainly we can partner with our sister city on. The second thing is that I'm not for partnering and not for spending that money on Union Station if nothing's going to be done to it. And we know that the price of Union Station and what we're trying to purchase it for certainly is a drop in the bucket as to compare to what renovations are needed. There have been some talks and some meetings we've had about Amtrak either building a new facility or now the possibility of renovating Union Station to make it a train station, an Amtrak station, and we're relying solely, that you're aware of, hopefully on the granting of this grant and these matching funds that Amtrak is going to put forward to help make that come true. Where are we going to be if we don't get that money?
Well, the process right now, if the Amtrak deal falls through and we don't get those grant, then those money will just come back to you.
Return back to the
Yes.
city.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I got a question.
Yes, sir.
I know once y'all get it done, was any talk about moving the bus station, down to the area too? Because I know in some city, you have all your city transportation in maybe one hub.
Yeah, there's been a couple of talks about, even if they don't move their overall operation down to the station, they'll have some office in there to give us kind of a multimodal means of transportation from the Union Station.
So I agree with the mayor that the concern is, like we've had in the past, is that grant money is not free, right? You get that money, and then, you know, if you, like the mayor said, it's a drop in the bucket, what it's gonna cost, because I've seen that building down there, and I know how much of disarray it's in. And this could end up being one of those things that are a cost lag for the city, and we're not a very wealthy city to be taking those kind of things on. So I heard you say that it's contingent upon you getting those funds from Amtrak, and what else was it?
So the Chrissy grant.
So if we don't get those, then we get the $200,000 back, is that what you said, Mayor?
Yes, sir.
Yes, that's the intent. We won't know that until, according to September, right?
Yes.
Somewhere around September. This is to put our money where our mouth is, the way I understand it, to let them know we will commit that money if everything comes to fruition.
Yes, that's
and
correct.
it's done.
The problem I see though is, again, renovation work, especially during this time of time, is not cheap. And I've got citizens that need road repairs, and, you know, we've got a lot of things in the community. And it's not that I don't respect everything that's happening down here. But taking on something else that is going to cause us a lot of pressure to put money towards, that I'm not even sure where the revenue is going to come back in, because Amtrak has said maybe they'll build a train station somewhere else. What becomes of that building then? If we go to start spending money. And Mayor, can you tell us, did David Orr say that the city of Texarkana, Texas was going to make a monetary commitment to this?
We're not, they're making a $200,000 monetary commitment along with us to secure the property. They're the ones that are applying for the grant through their side of town, and all of this washes if the money doesn't come through. The other thing is that the original plans for Amtrak to build was right down the road from that anyway.
Yes.
The Amtrak property is on our side, right on down the road, to where they were going to build a new facility. And this project, what I'm told, would be cheaper and better
Yes.
for them to have this possibility to renovate the station the way that Amtrak wants it. And that's why I think we should do it. I don't think we're risking anything. We're going to get our money back if all that doesn't come to fruition. And that would be my point, and that is that, one, it's an excellent project. Two, it's not that expensive in relation to other things that we do, but we're going to get our money back if nothing happens. And if it happens, it's going to be a humongous boost to downtown.
Did the Texas Council pass it?
Yes.
Yes, they have.
Yeah. All we're doing, in my opinion, in finance terms, is we're escrowing. We're going to send them $200,000, and we're going to escrow it until all this comes together, and if not, we're getting it back.
Yeah, that is correct, Mayor.
Any other questions for Lucille or Rhonda? Okay, we'll show your presentation.
It might not be turned on the side.
Well, these are, as I mentioned, we've been in conversations for quite a couple months now, and some of these rendering actually came from Texarkana, Texas Main Street Corporation, as well as Arkansas Main Street, as well as the architect, the historical architect for Texas Preservation Office. And so we've had some conversation about the possibility of what Union Station could look like and just the benefit that it'll bring for this community. And they kind of started giving us some rendering before we had our initial meeting with Amtrak folks, and them letting us know the plans that they have and what they're looking to do moving forward. So this is just one kind of rendering of what it looked like with some nicer windows in there and not all the broken windows. And then these are some more future designs of what it could look like. Does this thing have a pointer? We can't see it. But the way the building is right now, if we're able to redesign it, because of the structure and because it's a historical thing, we wouldn't be able to put an elevator inside. So this actually right here is a structure for an elevator to allow for ADA, to get it to where it meets ADA compliance, to get folks who need ADA access in and out of the building. And then this right here at the bottom, to your bottom left, is kind of redesigning the outside to put in a glass to be able to have events and different things like that in there, and give people a different atmosphere. And to this bottom right would be just how the street would be designed, and I'll show you another concept of the different things that could be in there. As we talked about, Amtrak would be able to have a station in there, they'll be able to have parking, different places to drop off. But the other thing that we're looking at, we're in downtown, which is a food desert. We don't have a grocery store or anything down here. That could be a potential possibility of having a space like that for a community market or a grocery store. And we talk about having like a kitchen space. Right now, a portion of that station already has a setup for a kitchen. It was in there, it never got used, I was told. And so that already creates a space to have a restaurant or something of that nature in there. The other thing that there's been lots of talks about on both sides of the state line is having incubator space or creator space. And this would be a perfect location that fits both Texas and Arkansas to have something like that. And then we talk about having a reception hall and just having like an event space in there. And these are just some of the possibilities that we've discussed with our architect, and then Texas Main Street and Arkansas Main Street. And just recently we completed, the Leadership Texarkana class of 2022 completed a project where we did some renovations to the exterior of the building, thanks to a vote here from council to allow us to do some of those renovations. And so this is what it looked like before. We were able to put up a new sign. We were able to put in some better landscaping, some more sustainable landscaping, as well. We were able to put up some lighting up there. As you can see, it talks about replacing the light structure, putting it up, and make it more welcoming for people coming off this train, because a lot of people come here, this is their first view of Texarkana. And so if we can make that better, hopefully that encourages more people to come back and bring their families here as well. So we're able to get a lot of things done, mounted to about $20,000 overall when we got all of it done, but all of that was done through, we had a couple monetary donations, and a lot more of it was in-kind donation. We had a lot of people that were willing and wanting to see something happen with Union Station, so they donated their time and came and power wash. They came out and also restriped the parking lot. We got new signs put out there, and the building just looked a lot more welcoming. So it went from looking like this to where it looks a lot more welcoming for people coming in, and not just people coming in from out of town, but people that are here and want to go see what Union Station is like. So I'm definitely excited. There's a lot of things happening in our downtown. There's a lot of progress being made on both sides of the state in the downtown. So I'm very hopeful of this being one of those projects too that continue to develop downtown Texarkana, USA.
Do you have any rough estimates on just the bare minimum of refurbishing that building? Because I'm sure, I've lived here all my life. I was here the last time that they revitalized that, and I've known what has happened over the years, and we've all had these things of Amtrak doing great things, and I'm all in favor of stuff for the city. I would just say, do y'all have any rough estimates of what you think that costs the city?
So I've been doing some research on similar projects that have been happening in different places. I know down in Dallas there's a train station about this size, and for complete renovations, I think it was running about $20 million, give or take, for what it would do to do complete. And they took overall everything out of there. I don't think ours be that extensive, because with Amtrak, where the Amtrak station is right now, it just needs upgrade from what it is, because it can still function as a station. I don't think it will take that much, but those are just some rough estimates of what I'm seeing for typical projects like this to do
Well, I would say,
renovations.
if you want to be successful down there, you need to contact Chick-fil-A.
Okay. That would be nice. I
Put a
mean,
Chick-fil-A in there, that building will take off.
Yes,
Do
sir.
you know how much that Chrissy grant would be? I mean, do we come up with an estimate and give it to them, and then they give us money? How does that work?
So the initial application for a Chrissy grant was $1.3 million, and that would, as Mr. Aranda explained, that would help with acquisition as well as preliminary engineering to get us off the ground.
And just as a clarification too, in our current budget, in the city manager's budget, we had $200,000 allocated for property acquisitions for downtown. So this is not a new $200,000 expense in this year's budget. We're simply using that appropriation to do the Union Station project. Any other questions, any other comments? If not, we would have the city attorney read the resolution.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Whereas on March 3rd, 2023, the cities of Texarkana, Arkansas, Texarkana, Texas, and Amtrak signed a letter of intent as a good faith agreement regarding the redevelopment of Union Station in downtown Texarkana. And whereas the LOI expresses the intention of Amtrak's future plans for its operations and the potential to access funds that they have available to improve Union Station. Whereas the site has been around since the founding of both cities, and the cities realize that its restoration is vital to successful downtown revitalization. And whereas the next step in the redevelopment project is the purchase of Union Station. And whereas Texarkana, Arkansas previously budgeted $200,000 to be paid to the city of Texarkana, Texas for the purchase of Union Station. And whereas the acting city manager and staff recommend approval, now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Directors of the city of Texarkana, Arkansas, that $200,000 shall be paid to the city of Texarkana, Texas for the purchase of Union Station, passed and approved the 17th day of April 2023.
City attorney's read the resolution. What would be the desire of the board?
Motion to adopt.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt. Any other discussion? Could you call the roll, please?
Brewer,
Yes.
Hart,
No.
Roberts,
No.
Harris,
Yes.
Hollabush,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes. What do we have there? 4. It passes. All right, resolution passes. Moving on to item number 8, is to adopt an ordinance waiving competing bidding and authorizing the acting city manager to enter into agreement with Harris Systems USA for software license services and support related to the city suite accounting and human resource management software, hosting, and additional years of conversion. Ms. Henderson.
The city's finance department has operated on the same accounting software, Harris Select, since 1999. This software is outdated and it cannot be upgraded. The software is currently being hosted by TWU on an AIX server that is also outdated and will be costly to repair, if it's even possible to repair, if it goes down. We are asking to waive competitive bidding and enter into agreements with Harris Systems USA for software licenses, services, and support related to the City Suite accounting and human resource management software, hosting and additional years of conversion. Harris Systems is the same company the city used to purchase the original software, and they have the ability to convert and bring forward 4 years of accounting data into the new accounting platform without the requirement of dual entries. This request includes one-time fees for software licenses, professional fees related to software, travel, and for conversion of 2 additional years of data. The ongoing annual fees related to this request are annual support and maintenance and hosting. Are there any questions?
Does anybody have any
I have one
questions?
question.
Yes.
To run the, is this the same software company we used after the cyber attack that we got off the ground?
Yes.
They helped us get back on the.
Yes, they were able to assist us, and we, as far as getting anything done, we haven't had any issues with them. They even build additional software as we need it. The main issue with what we have is not only is it outdated, but we don't have a HR platform. We have to do our own HR platform, and there's not any upgrades. So anytime there's such a simple change, such as a tax table, it takes hours and hours and hours, and they have to build new programs for things such as simple as changes in tax tables on a yearly basis.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other
I
questions?
got a
Director
question
Harris.
since we on this, it may be indirect related. When y'all get on y'all computer here, do y'all have the city implement a two-step verification process, meaning that, do you know?
No, I know exactly what it is. No, sir, we don't have that. We just have one login. Now, if we log into our accounting system or anything like that, we have an additional login. The IT department is actually working on a two-step verification process. If you use your a city email on a personal device, such as my work phone, if I try to access my email on there, not only will I have to log in, but they'll send me a code that I have to put in as well. So they are starting to implement those processes.
But would they also put it on the city computer?
We can get that put on their computer. They have mentioned that in the past. They just haven't taken a step forward in that yet.
I would say, Tyrone, first of all, I'd say Harris is a very reputable, very good software company. You know, I'm a software consultant, so I'm very aware of what Harris does. The other thing, I know that this is above what we're talking about and what we're fixing to vote on, but I would love for you to work on a two-step process verification on all computers.
Yes, sir. I will speak with
Especially
Brandon.
after what we've been through in the past, I'm surprised that, I'm shocked to hear what you told me.
Yeah.
He is moving forward with it. I can tell you, I was on vacation and they actually shut down my email because I was working while I was in another state, and there was a state other than where I live that was a login on my computer. He immediately shut down my email, and he called me later and he said, "Hey, we're shutting down your email. There's been some there were some logins that we didn't recognize." And I asked him where it was from. I was like, "Oh, that was me. I was working." But they are on top of it. Our IT department does an excellent job. But I will let him know that that is a request.
I think mine is still shut down.
Any other questions? I remind the board, this is an
Thank you.
ordinance to pass tonight. Emergency clause is also requested. If it's passed tonight, it would need to be read 3 times. What would be the desire of the board to have it read on its first reading?
First reading, abbreviated form.
So a motion and a second to have the ordinance read in its abbreviated form on its first reading. Any other discussion? Could you call the roll?
Brewer,
Yes.
Hart,
Yes.
Roberts,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Hollabush,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
An ordinance waiving competitive bidding, authorizing the acting city manager to enter into agreements with Harris Systems USA Incorporated for software licenses, services, and support related to City Suite accounting and human resource management software, hosting, and additional years of conversion, for declaring an emergency and for other purposes.
Ordinance has been read on its first reading. What would be the desire to have it read on its second reading?
Second reading, abbreviated form, please.
Second.
Motion and a second to have it read on its second reading, abbreviated form. Any other discussion? Could you call the roll?
Brewer,
Yes.
Hart,
Yes.
Roberts,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Hollabush,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
An ordinance waiving competitive bidding, authorizing the acting city manager to enter into agreements with Harris Systems USA Incorporated for software licenses, services, and support related to City Suite accounting and human resource management software, hosting, and additional years of conversion, for declaring an emergency and for other purposes.
Ordinance has been read on its second reading. What would be the desire to have it read on its third and final reading tonight?
Motion, third and final reading, abbreviated.
Second.
I have a motion and second to have it read on its third and final reading. Any other discussion? Could you call the roll?
Brewer,
Yes.
Hart,
Yes.
Roberts,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Hollabush,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
An ordinance waiving competitive bidding, authorizing the acting city manager to enter into agreements with Harris Systems USA Incorporated for software licenses, services, and support related to City Suite accounting and human resource management software, hosting, and additional years of conversion, for declaring an emergency and for other purposes.
Ordinance has been read on its third and final reading. What would be the desire of the board to adopt?
Motion to adopt.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt. Prior to the board voting to adopt this ordinance, is there anyone here that wishes to speak for or against this particular ordinance? Seeing and hearing none, could you call the roll?
Brewer,
Yes.
Hart,
Yes.
Roberts,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Hollabush,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes. And the ordinance is adopted. The city has requested an emergency clause. What would be the desire of the board to attach?
Motion to attach.
Second.
Second.
So I have a motion and a second to attach an emergency clause. Any other discussion? Could you call the roll?
Brewer,
Yes.
Hart,
Yes.
Roberts,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Hollabush,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes, and the ordinance passes and an emergency clause is attached. Moving right along, we're into our Board of Directors commentary. Or is there any board member that wishes to address the board tonight during board commentary? Dr. Harris.
I'm gonna read the last one, and it's dated April the 17th, 2023, and it's to Tyler Richards Public Works here, in reference to community development grant public comment period, and then I got a question mark. In regards to my request today, when when will the city be having a CBDG hearing? It was also need to note that it was done on March the 20th at City Hall. My first response, that there are two community centers that is currently open during the week, San Flat Neighborhood Center and Iron Mountain Neighborhood Center. And there's also Vernon Bradford Center. Since there may be a 30 days comment period, I ain't making the following comments. Have the CBG public hearing in a place where you will at least guarantee some of your attendance will be with someone the city is receiving funds for low to moderate income LMI person. Put 80 to 90% of the money to be used in the LMI neighborhood. Projects could be peripherals, repairing streets or roads, sidewalk, housing repair, recreation need, city park, city public building, and I got swimming pool, home buyers down payment assistance, and use more money in the area in order to show an impact. And you got my name, Laney Harris, Ward 2 City Director. That's it.
Any other board members wish to address the board commentary?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
I would just say, I heard the statement, we had this money budgeted. Just because we have money budgeted does not mean we have to allocate or spend money. And I'd just like to remind that board of this, that creating long-term debt that could potentially, have to spend more money on something, I just would like to remind us that we have an obligation to our citizens as well, through street repair and through sewer and water. And I just want us to be, fiscally responsible for the money that comes into the city.
But I've got something I'd like to add to that. Now, did we not purchase the Union Supply property?
No,
Okay, we have not.
we did not.
Okay.
Mayor, I would like to thank Tony Nix for coming out, and I would like to continue to encourage Ward 4 citizens to come out and share their time. And keep in mind, Ward 4 is 18th Street to Realtor Road. It is bordered by east of State Line and west of Jefferson. Thank you for coming out, Ms. Nix.
Any other comments?
Thank you, Ms. Wolf.
Ms. Nix, you may not know this, but I was born and raised in Hope.
Ms. Nix, I was partly raised in Hope.
Any other comments? Any other discussion? If not, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Let's have a motion and a second to adjourn. Would you call the roll, please?
Brewer,
Yes.
Hart,
Yes.
Roberts,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Hollabush,
Yes.
Brown.
Yes, and we're adjourned.
The mayor.